Welcome back everybody to World of Tanks Xbox 360 edition. My name as always is Maxwell, and today's first video, I'm going to bring you two today because games, especially at this lower tier, tend to be rather quick. So yeah, I'm going to bring you a couple of them. First one here is in my Panzer 35, I think it is. 35T. Now, I've had a couple of games on Malinovka, and what tends to happen is people don't really understand the order of business. As you can see, that medium tank going charging off across the way there. So the best thing to do in Malinovka, really, is just to get yourself behind a bush and sit and wait, and you can just generally pick people off. As you see there, I'm getting a couple of good hits on this Marder 2 here. Our medium gets picked off pretty quickly, but if you can keep an eye on where people are, a lot of them don't tend to move. As you see, just pick up two, well, I think that, was that 2 kills? I'm not 100% sure. But I pick up at least 1 kill there and a little bit of damage. But once people are spotted out, they tend not to move. So, yeah. But I mean, with it being just so low tier as well, you don't really see very many maps. Province and Malinovka are the most prevalent. So I'm having a few shots at this guy. I think he's going to back off here, so I changed my aim. And if you see there, absolutely without meaning to, take out the artillery there. So that was a fantastic stroke of luck on my part. Excuse me, I think I need a drink of coffee. So what's happening here is people are just making the daylight charge across the minefield and not really paying much heed to anything else. Trying to lead the target here. Seems that leading a target's quite difficult here. And just as I lead him a little bit more, he stops, which is typical, but able to pick him up in the end, and then this medium Mark III hoves into view. And I mean, once we've got this guy eliminated, we've got another guy moving up on the right-hand flank that you can kind of see on our mini-map. Again, just as I lead the target, he stops. It's pretty typical. But as you can see, we've got a tank destroyer moving up on that right-hand flank, so all we're in there to do is just kind of sit and wait for him to get some spotting done. Just going to have another shot at this bush, because there you go. I thought this Valentine AT might still be there from when I was shooting at him earlier. Not quite able to get any actual damage on him, just track damage there. But I figured he'd probably still be there, so I thought I'd just take a quick cheeky shot at the bush just to be sure. And as you can see, even just like the PC version of World of Tanks, you can make... what's the word I'm looking for? Unexpected shots through tiny little windows to pick up damage. So the enemy team's looking a little bit worse for wear at the moment. We've picked off a good portion of them. And they've got a few people coming in from our left-hand flank, so there's only going to be 2 or 3 guys in the base. So I've decided to move up across the field, get there as quick as possible. Luckily I'm in a light tank, so I'm going to make the journey pretty quickly. But I know there's a couple of guys camped over there. There we see that Valentine from earlier. Looks like he's focusing on the other guy though, so I make it across the side without taking any damage. There is some people firing though, so I do have to be careful. And find a Panzer 2G. That always confused me when you use the zoom in, but it zooms in to where your turret's facing, not to where your cursor's aiming. So that confuses me sometimes that I zoom in and there's actually nobody there at the end of the reticule, and that's just because it's looking where the turret is, which is where nobody is. So I'm dueling with this other 38T. I think that's the tank that I'm in, actually, the 38T. But he had the machine gun there, and I've got the much larger gun, so I'm just able to pick him off no problem. There's somebody over there, so I'm going to move across and try and get some eyes on them, and maybe get some damage on them as well. There's no point really going for a cap, as we know kind of where the enemy team is. Right there, and there's only 2 of them left, so it's basically just go for the kills now. Hopefully I can try and pick this guy up, but not quite. Somebody else just managed to get him. It looks like he's actually drowning himself there. Yep, drowned himself in the lake, so it looks like cowardice and drowning is universal across the PC and 360 version. But that's the first game of the day in the Panzer 38T. I'm going to have a quick look at the scoreboard and see how this one's shaped up. So you got a decent chunk of XP there and a decent chunk of credits. No real medals. Got a sharpshooter and a first class mastery. So we see we've got 4 kills and detected 1. And then a real decent score there, as we see. 980 base XP, 945 damage. So that's that game. Without further ado, we'll move on to the next one. So this one's actually going to be Province again, but I think I'm using the Panzer 2J, which is the premium tank that you get for being an Xbox Live Gold member, or at least that's how I got it. Pretty sure that's the only requirement, is you sign up for Xbox Live Gold, and then you get the Panzer 2J. What somebody said the other day in the comments is absolutely true with this tank. It is a beast, it's very hard to penetrate, but you're not really going to do any damage to anybody. Just getting a little bit manhandled by this jackass in front. We both wanted to go the same direction, but he was just hogging the road a little bit. So as you can see, this thing is a light tank, but the speed of it is pretty prohibitive. My original plan was how difficult this thing is to damage. I was going to head all the way to the left-hand flank and then sweep down towards the cap circle. As you can see, we spot out quite a majority of the enemy team, so I decided just to take a little bit of a shortcut and really put this tank's armour to the test. The other thing is, with it having a machine gun, it can tend to be out of range sometimes. A little bit of damage onto that guy, I think. Then the guy who was jostling for position on the road earlier just explodes to my right. That guy's out of range. Didn't realise when I had the first shot, but realised now. So now going to be time just to do a little bit of mountaineering or scaling down this cliff. And that worked out well. Didn't take any damage, which I was a little bit surprised about. And then we just do a little bit more mountaineering over this rock. And this is the point where I do just want to put the armour of this tank to the test. I hope I've got some backup from some of my allies. Nowhere near got the gun elevation for that. Don't know what I was thinking. T-18 as well, not going to do any damage on him, especially not with only being able to see the very top of him. But it looks like my allies do indeed have my back. Do got to be careful, because I don't want to expose too much of my side armor. But I don't think this guy, I don't think this medium 3 is going to be able to hurt me, really. But as you see, I don't really do very much damage to him either, especially not with only being able to see the top of his turret. And then this tank destroyer moves into view. Now, I don't really want to go out into the open to start the base capture yet. That is kind of why I'm here. But I don't really want to start just yet, because that'll expose my right-hand side to anybody. And that yellow means I've got 0 chance of getting any damage on the Marder 2 there, so there's no point in taking that shot. And then that guy gets himself destroyed. So now, with the enemy team only having 4 tanks left, I think it's probably about time that I start making a slow move towards the cap circle. Just as I finish unloading my clip, the weak spot of the Marder 2 becomes visible. And I think it's about time to get in this cap circle now and just make the enemy come to us. They've only got 3 tanks left. They've got the Marder, a medium tank, and another tank destroyer. And our team is winning quite considerably. But this is pretty much just the story of the Panzer 2J. You are pretty indestructible, but you're not really going to hurt anybody either. Now, I did take a big hit there from somebody. I'm not too sure who that was from. Somebody called Dazed Monk, apparently. So it was probably that medium tank there. And that just leaves them with 1 tank destroyer. And that's going to be all she wrote. So that is the Panzer 2J, ladies and gentlemen. Slow, lumbering, indestructible, but you're not really going to hurt anybody. Just having a look why someone would take a shot there. I think he probably doesn't want us to cap, but he's sat in the cap circle as well. So we'll just ignore that one. But as you might guess, that this base capture comes off without a hitch, and that's pretty much a victory for our team. And then that's going to do it for the Panzer 2J. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any requests for specific tanks, or if there's a guide, tutorial, or just some advice that you'd like, obviously leave me a comment in the comment section below, and I'll get to that as quickly as possible. Just going to take a quick look at the score screen. See how we did. Not too bad on the XP. Pretty good on the credits. Obviously, it's a premium tank, so it makes more credits. I got a mastery badge and a cool headed there. Obviously, because the thing's very tough. Did a great deal of scouting there. Detected a good amount of tanks. Didn't get any damage. Now, this is one complaint that I do have with this score screen here is, you'll notice I've come in the bottom half of the score screen, but if you look at the XP gained, I'm actually second. And as of yet, I've found no way of rearranging the battle board. You see me just trying here. I've found no way of rearranging the battle board in a way that shows everybody ranked by XP. So that's definitely something that Wargaming needs to get on and get sorted. Being able to rank it by different weights. If anybody knows how to do that, then obviously just leave me a comment in the comment section below, letting me know that I've just missed it and I'm being an idiot. But that's going to do it for World of Tanks 360 Edition 4 today. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave me a like or favourite. If you've got any questions or requests for videos, for say guides on tanks or tutorials or just general content, let me know by leaving me a comment in the comment section below, and I'll get to them as soon as possible. And if you're not already, please consider hitting that subscribe button for more content like this in the future. I've been Maxwell. This has been World of Tanks Xbox 360 Edition, and I will catch you guys next time.